In the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, sorcerers and cursed spirits are always at odds with one another. Each side instinctually wants to destroy the other. Whilst some sorcerers mask their intentions and act as if they destroy spirits for the sake of altruism and people's safety, cursed spirits know that it's much more simple than that. Sorcerers and spirits from the moment of their conception are made to be at odds with each other, with the rare exception of Shikigami that are similar to cursed spirits but not quite the same, as well as the even rarer exception of cursed spirit manipulation users who can use cursed spirits against their will and have a forced cooperation between human and spirit, as we see in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, where Geto states it doesn't matter if Rika wants to work with him or not. If he consumes her, he can control her. Every spirit hates all humans, but what if that wasn't always the case? What if there was an exception to this rule? What if, in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, we had a spirit work alongside a human, with no hostility being harbored between the two? That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Without further ado, may I introduce to you the most important and adorable little guy in Jujutsu Kaisen. No, obviously not him. That little guy, he's our man. Now this little fella goes by many different names. The Inventory Curse, the Inventory Spirit, Hidden Inventory, the Worm Curse. But to me, when I look at this magnificent little man, I just see a cute little guy. And for the sake of brevity, we're just going to call him Wormy. So in this video, what is there to discuss about Wormy? What is he? What is Wormy's ability? What does Wormy do in the narrative? And how do his two owners differ? So let's start simple. What is this little fella, right? Wormy, ironically enough, is a worm-like cursed spirit, blessed with a human, almost baby-like face, okay? With some loose, scraggly hair atop his head. His eyes are always barely open, which is in great contrast to his mouth, which is either always being used for his ability, which I'll discuss later, or wearing a brightly toothy grin, accompanying his lovely chubby cheeks. When we first see him, he's wrapped around his original owner, Toji Fushiguro, and then is later adopted by Suguru Geto. Beyond these simple facts, we can gather that Wormy is a rather simple creature. The manga gives us a little bit more info on Wormy than the anime does. More specifically, if we look to the Hidden Inventory arc, and more specifically than that, we look to Geto's scuffle with Toji. As Geto is trying to remove Toji's armory, we get this little diagram. From this, we can infer that Wormy here is a grade 3 level curse. Or it could be argued that maybe since this is Geto's narration, it's not that Wormy is confirmed to be grade 3, it's that Geto believes that he is a grade 3. But given Geto's expertise in cursed spirits due to his curse technique, it's fair to say that Wormy here is a grade 3 level curse. Beyond this, however, we have further evidence of this curse's grade. Back in 2021, we were blessed with the Jump Giga Fantasy Cursed Object Picture Book Deluxe. Holy, that's so long. The Jump Giga Fantasy Cursed Object Picture Book Deluxe. In all honesty, I'm unaware of how canon this is, okay? Since I haven't really seen many other people mention this as a source. But take it with a pinch of salt for now. In this short piece, we get about 8 diagrams of cursed objects or tools from the series of JJK, right? We get detailed diagrams of Sukuna's fingers, of fly heads, of Tengen even, and a few others, but most pertinent to this video is that we get a diagram of our little Wormy friend here, and this diagram is accompanied by a little bit of lore and some characteristics of Wormy, right? Also bear in mind that there are no official translations of this, so take the translations I'm using with a pinch of salt, because they're from like a combination of Reddit and Tumblr, so, you know, as I say, pinch of salt. What's being said here is that basically, yes, our little man here is in fact grade 3. We also get a statement calling back to the JJK fanbook, stating that you can create a master-slave relationship with cursed spirits, similar to cats and dogs. However, you can't build a trusting relationship with them, okay? Apparently, Toji has this master-servant relationship here, but look at Wormy. He is thriving, okay? Plenty of swords and glocks to store. He is probably having the time of his life in the Hidden Inventory arc, okay? He is happy as hell with Toji. If you look at this diagram closely as well, you may have noticed this star grade here in the bottom left. Wormy here is a 1 out of 5. Well, what does this mean? This is our little guy's danger level. As you could guess, he's not all that dangerous on his own, which is in great contrast, because if we look at another object from this picture book, Sukuna's fingers, for example, it is a 5 out of 5 danger level for obvious reasons. So, anyway, back to Wormy. It says that you can pretty much store anything inside him, not just cursed tools. You can store, well, the examples given are stuff like wallets, IDs, etc. Me personally, I assume the only limit to what Wormy can store is how wide this little guy can open his mouth, and since he can fit the entire soul splitter in his mouth, like blade end, that possible limit is pretty negligible. I mean, it's described here, and as we see during the fight with Toji, Wormy can store his own body within himself, and that's how he managed to get so small that he could fit inside Toji's stomach. And the only actual drawback that is stated here is that anything that is stored inside this spirit will be covered in his bodily fluids, which is ridiculously negligible for as strong as a cursed spirit that this can be, as like a utility. Just look at this diagram of our little man here. He has literal space inside him, and it looks pretty damn cool. I've discussed what he is, and I've kind of glazed over Wormy's ability, but let me actually discuss it. So, what is Wormy's ability? As his most commonly used monikers imply, our man here is used as a storage device of sorts, okay? During the hidden inventory arc, our man here acts as a storage unit for all of Toji's cursed tools, as well as his conventional tools, soul splitters, standard swords, and Smith & Wessons. Our little fella can do it all. When used by Toji, he is kept within his stomach due to Wormy's ability to store his own body. Toji does this so he can get through barriers without the cursed tools preventing him from going through barriers and such. As explained during the preamble with Geto, Toji throws him up and uses him to equip himself with the soul splitter to deal with Geto and his cursed spirits. And then later, when fighting Gojo, he equips himself with the inverted spear of heaven and combines it with the chain of 1,000 miles, which is very interesting when used in tandem with Wormy, as the chain of 1,000 miles is a cursed tool that will never end if you cannot see both ends of the chain pretty much. As long as the back end is not visible, the chain can move on infinitely. When the back end of the chain is stored within inside Wormy, which has infinite space inside and you cannot see the back end of, it technically gives the chain, and in turn Toji, infinite range with this chain, which is pretty cool. Not much else to say about Wormy's ability, right? Besides the fact that it's pretty cool. It's like his own little pocket dimension inside his belly. The closest comparison I could make off the top of my head is like Gluttony from Fullmetal Alchemist. Moving on, what is Wormy's role in the narrative? Well, during the hidden inventory arc, Toji Fushiguro makes use of Wormy to aid him in his assassination of the Star Plasma Vessel, as well as his showdown with Gojo, Geto, and then Gojo again. Toji makes use of a standard katana initially, then makes use of the Soul Splitter, then takes down Gojo with the inverted spear of heaven, all of which were provided by our little Wormy man here. Then Toji uses the same arsenal pretty much to aid him in beating Geto, using the Soul Splitter against the Rainbow Dragon and using the inverted spear of heaven against the Kuchisake owner. During this scuffle, Geto attempts to take Wormy, as Geto realizes that if he uses his curse technique of curse spirit manipulation and takes Wormy away, Toji loses access to his portable weapons cache. However, since Toji and Wormy are bonded above the restrictions of human and spirit, I guess the closest comparison is with Yuta and Rika and JJK Zero, Geto is unable to take Wormy, leading to Geto's defeat. There's a bit of confusion about this, but basically what happened here is due to the fact that Geto can't just take every cursed spirit, right? Imagine it like Pokemon, actually. You can't just take another trainer's Pokemon. You can't just take another monster or spirit. But if Geto were to beat up the trainer or the user of the spirit, then he can take the spirit. So if Geto wanted to take Wormy, he would have to beat Toji first, okay? But as Toji had a master-servant relationship with Wormy, which is apparently akin to the relationship between humans and dogs, Suguru Geto fails in his ultimate goal of taking Wormy. Then Gojo comes back, Toji equips the aforementioned chain of 1,000 miles in conjunction with the inverted spear of heaven, Toji eats a hollow purple, and since he was equipped with Wormy at the time, we nearly lost our cursed spirit companion here. It seems that either Wormy got lucky here, or Geto found him, or somehow, despite being a low-level curse, Wormy was smart enough to seek Geto out, which I unfortunately doubt. Like, I love this little guy, but he is not the sharpest tool in the shed. In this moment, Wormy's contract/relationship with Toji is over, so Geto then consumes him and adds all the curse tools that Toji had into his repertoire, explaining Geto's use of Playful Cloud in JJK Zero, as it was inside of Wormy during this fight. Toji just didn't use it here because he didn't really get much of a chance. The only strange thing about this interaction of Geto gaining control of Wormy is that in the manga, we don't see what Wormy says to Geto. That freaks him out so much. Just like, look at his face here. Wormy said something horrible here. In the anime, Wormy seemingly refers to Geto as like mother or mommy. Maybe Wormy is calling out to Toji, as maybe Wormy views him as his brother. Or the curse was maybe created from the emotions of a lost child or something like that. It doesn't matter. but this moment just made Wormy look a lot more creepier than he actually is, right? Now, one last thing I want to look over before I get to the conclusion. As I said, Geto takes control of Wormy post-Toji fight, so I feel like it's a fair question to ask, who took better care of my Wormy little man? When we see Wormy during the Hidden Inventory arc, Toji being his owner at the time, he's wrapped around Toji. They're pals. Wormy is chilling during Toji's debrief with Shiu Kong. I can't remember how to pronounce that. Wormy looks happy here. All the weapons he could ever dream of storing are inside his belly. He looks healthy wrapped around Toji. He's getting taken care of. He's getting exercise. Toji takes him everywhere in his belly. Now, let's jump to JJK 0. What the f did you do to my baby boy? Some of you may say, oh, it's just the art style change because JJK has changed over time. That may be true. However, just look a bit closer. Look at him. He looks malnourished. He's smooth. He doesn't have any of the ridges along him that he had along his body when Toji had him, which means Geto just has him starved most of the time, doesn't give him any good exercise. This is just straight up neglect, right? I'm just telling you now. Just look at his hair. Toji, when Wormy was with the Toji, my boy had a sweet fade, right? Nice trim. Then cut to when Geto had him, bro hasn't had a cut in decades. Like, Geto is just ignoring him, and that is messed up. Just look at Wormy spitting up Playful Cloud. He's not wearing a smile. My little man is miserable, right? I feel like it's fair to say that Toji, the man who built a relationship with Wormy, over time treats Wormy better than the man who forces him to work against his will. Right, so in conclusion, yes, this is in fact an April Fool's video, right? But in making this video, I grew to see one of the genuinely not forgotten concepts, but more so overlooked concepts in JJK. Humans and sorcerers having relationships that benefit the two. Almost like a symbiosis. Like, humans and sorcerers having relationships with each other. That sounds weird. Like, but you know what I mean though? Toji managed to repel Geto's technique, a cursed technique that gave Geto the rank of special grade. Toji repelled it due to his relationship with Wormy, which is ridiculous.